Hi, I'm Joe Rourke. I'm here to talk to you about performance dashboards and how to configure your trending criteria. Now, there are two areas that I see that you might want to change your trending criteria, and the first is ranges. The Autotask workbooks include a number of charts that includes ranges of information, like the survey data that has scoring ranges. And oftentimes, in order to see better distributions of your data, you'd like to change the distribution ranges that are being used for the criteria. And that's one of the examples we're going to show you in a second. The other is the actual data itself that may be used for things like sub-issue types or queues or issue types or sources. By default, when we configure the workbooks, we choose the top 10 areas that have the most tickets. But over time, sub-issue types may change, queues may change, and I'll show you how you can go in and actually easily change the actual data that's actually being used for the trending charts. So we're going to go over to the actual example demo workbook. We'll take a look at these two examples. Now, the first example that we'd like to use is we'd like to go over into taking a look at survey data. And one of the things, as an example you saw, was there was a survey information which has survey scores. And one of the things about distributions, and there's a lot of distributions within the actual system, you can kind of see here's the number of hours in terms of the elapsed time to resolve. You can also see we use the same kind of criteria for the survey score ranges, 4 to 5, 3 to 3.5. When I have something that has a large distribution, that has a lot of things that are in one color, I'm not really seeing any distinction, and therefore I probably want to change the ranges. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over, because all the trending charts drive off of the ticket analysis page, we're going to go to the ticket analysis page and go down to the completed section for survey scoring. So if I go down to the area where we have the tickets that have been closed, and we look at the survey score ranges, one of the things I can see is here is the data that I was actually representing. If I want to change the actual ranges of data, I click on a criteria button, it's up at the top, and I can go in and actually change the criteria here, criteria 4 to 6 or 4 to 5, 3.5 to 4. You can kind of see that this is ranging because we're always going in less than the number, so we can put in a full number here. And now I'm just going to go in and put in 4.5. I'm going to put in 4.5 because it's going to go up to 4.5, and maybe I want 4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, maybe I'll say 3.5 to 4. And because I want to change my labels, I'm going to go in and just say 3.5 to, and we'll say 3.9, just so that people understand that it's up to that value. Then we're going to say 4 to, in this case, 4.4, and we'll say 4.5 to 5. And the last one, we're just going to change this to 3.4. As I was changing, all of the numbers are changing here. And in fact, when I go back over into the view of the chart, you can actually see it instantly changes over to show the new distribution of data. And now I'm seeing a lot more numbers that are actually showing you a larger distribution up at the top. I can continue to refine it to show more and more information. The other example that we wanted to show was what data gets included. And I'm going to go over to the weekly timeline to show an example. And one of the things you'll see is that, like opening balances for queues, you kind of see that there's 10 queues, but not a lot are being used. You may want to filter some of them out that aren't being used. What I'm going to do is go down to new tickets, and maybe we'll take sub-issue types. Happens to be data here, but if I looked at the information, maybe what I want to do is I just want to get rid of one and change the order of a few. So why don't we take a look at new tickets, sub-issue types over in the ticket analysis page. So what I can do is I can go up to new tickets, and here's the sub-issue types. And here are the ones that are being used. And you can kind of see is that I have, if I go over to the weekly timeline, I can kind of see technical, backup, license renewal. I have an unknown, and I have server operating systems. Maybe what I want to do is I want to put contract. Maybe I just want to switch contract and unknown. I'll show you an example here. So if I go over to the ticket analysis page, if I want to change the order, I can simply say, you know what, I want to put in contract, and I want to put unknown. I'll just change the order. Now if I go back over to my weekly timeline, I now see that I've changed it. What the ticket analysis page does for any data that's being entered into the ticket analysis screen is it looks for that sub-issue type. So if I actually created new sub-issue types that I wanted to use that weren't represented here, I could simply type it into the criteria field. That information would then appear. So you're not limited. We just default in what were the top 10, but you can type in any data that you want to use. Likewise, if there was certain information that you didn't want to see, and you didn't want all 10, it may be that you only want 7 of them, you can always choose to hide specific ones. And if you choose to hide a row here, you'll see that the row gets hidden on the ticket trending chart. And that's really kind of the two areas that we want to talk about, simple changes that actually can change both the trending that's being presented for ranges and the trending that's being shown for specific data that's being represented. And that kind of finishes out the two examples, ranges and data. If you have any questions and want to look at some additional training videos, you can visit take a look at the training videos for our workbooks at www.bizworkbooks.com. Thank you very much.